All right. Test.
Test.
Test. All right, welcome back to Convincing Idiots. We're talking about just kind of like me, I guess. So as you get things that you appreciate more as you get a little bit older. So people may not have appreciated me as much maybe slightly more these days. I don't know.
They're appreciating the shit out of you now, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. I would just like to think so. So, yeah, so Dean brought this up here.
You.
Thank you, and appreciate you guys as well. But Dean's original idea was maybe we talk about movies and shows and stuff. We kind of made it a broader topic here, so we're just going to talk about this stuff, that when you were younger, not that you didn't appreciate it when you were younger, but certainly as we've gotten a little bit older, you have a different perspective on whatever it is. Again, it could be food, it could be drink, it could be activities, it could be a show. Just something that maybe you've changed your mindset on a little bit as you've gotten a little bit older. And as most people know, we are all 10 years apart from one another. So I am the oldest, 10 years older than Dean and 20 years older than Nick, and so on. So, so we definitely have some different perspectives on a few things from me to Nick, certainly at the very least. So I'm interested to hear your guys' perspective on some of this stuff. Go ahead, Nick.
Well, I'll give you a broad example here, right?
They like to be called girls. No.
I will give you a broad example here. The fact that, growing up, you're watching TV shows and things like that, the commercials come on, and you're like,
sure.
you either leave the room, go get a drink, whatever, go to the bathroom, what have you. But as you grow up and you understand how, the different levels of marketing and the way people make a living and different ways that products get to consumers, you kind of find out it's very important. Plus, there's a lot of really good ones out there and products you might not have known, like as of before.
Like what?
Such as, I don't know, electric bikes.
Mm-hmm.
No longer are advertisements a thing that you need to run away from. Nay. In fact, you could ride toward them in electric style. If you give our friends at RPM Bike Shop a call at 330-808-7792, they could have you on your very own electric bike today. You can also go check them out on their Facebook page. Just search RPM Bike Shop. They're located in Carrollton, Ohio, not too far from here. They also have a website you can go visit and stay up to date with what they're doing. Just go to rpmbikeshop.com. Same information for you there. So there's no more excuses. No excuses not to enjoy this advertisement. No excuses not to have an electric bike. And no excuses not to ride in style today, thanks to our friends at RPM Bike Shop.
Mm-hmm. There you go. You sure as shit weren't hearing quality ad reads for electric bikes back in the day, Dean. Sure as hell weren't hearing those.
Sure as shit.
Didn't even exist.
No, they didn't.
I had a moped back then. That was the closest that we had. That was gasoline powered there, Nick.
Yeah.
Sure. That's
gasoline.
Right. Yep. Okay. Well, Dean, this is your idea. What are some of your initial thoughts you had on stuff you appreciate more as you've gotten older?
Let me put the old spectacles back on here. Right. So when I originally thought about this, it stemmed from me hearing a song. Then I thought to myself, when I was a kid, I don't think I necessarily hated it, but I didn't really give much thought to it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, but the older I got, and the more you sit and listen to it, I really appreciated it and how good of a song it was. And it was Zombie by the Cranberries.
Okay.
Like the message that the story that she's telling in that song. So that, to me, was the catalyst for this whole idea for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Then I started thinking, again, music-wise, another one for me is again, as a kid, I didn't dislike it, but I didn't appreciate it as I could. It was just he was there, like he was Michael Jackson. He was I didn't think two ways about him. Like you knew all the words of the songs, but the older I got, the more I listened to the lyrics and listened to the music and the arrangements, and you learn how to listen to music differently. So again, to me, Michael Jackson is one of those people that I learned to appreciate a lot more.
Yeah, he was. All the weirdness around him was really unfortunate, but he really was a genius. I mean,
absolutely.
his like you say, he was just super, super talented. One of the most talented that we've ever seen, and probably ever will see.
Oh yeah,
again, from his performing to his the whole thing. So I agree.
And say what you will about like pop music at large, but it takes a certain level of mastery to craft something that is so catchy and so widely loved and listened to and appreciated, or you know what I mean,
like this podcast.
Exactly.
That's right.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
That's right. Yep. Any moment it's going to be our Thriller album.
That's right.
One of these fucking episodes. Maybe it's this one. You never know.
The more editing on Dean you do, the closer we are to a Thriller. So
See?
We're getting there.
We're
getting there quickly.
There you go. There you go. If you ever confront me again.
I'm sorry, boss.
Sorry. Are we recording? Sorry, I didn't know we were recording.
Yeah, we're recording. Yeah.
You'll be off to Neverland Ranch, never heard from again.
He is going to whip me.
Dean, was there a specific, or did you just mean Michael Jackson in general, or was there a specific song?
No, I bet Michael Jackson.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Just in general.
Michael Jackson.
Okay.
But when this stops recording, he's going to tell me to get a Switch. I know it.
I'll make you get a Switch at your own party this weekend.
I hope so.
You're going to go pick it off a tree.
Go ahead, boy. Yep. That one right there looks pretty good. It's low hanging. You can get that. Beat your fucking blueberry glasses right off your face.
No, go ahead, Dean.
No, I mean that's one I got. Anybody else got any music?
I had more of a. Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
Oh,
please.
I was just going to say, and this is one that I know is also very special to Brian. It's definitely something I had no lack of appreciation for as a child, but Brian and I have both brought up, I believe, even on this podcast before, our love for Queensryche and specifically the Operation Mindcrime, the Operation Mindcrime album that came out in 1988. It's a concept album. The entire album tells a story, and it's very descriptive and it's like watching a movie in your mind as you listen to it. And when I was a kid, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of political corruption, there's prostitution, there's it's a lot of religious undertones and things like that. It's just a lot going on.
Alley.
Drugs, things like that. So definitely that album, I always loved it because I loved the music and I loved the sound of Jeff Tate's voice, and I knew the words of the songs, but a lot of the the meaning of the lyrics as a young child certainly were going over my head. But year upon year after, as I, the more and more I listen to it, it's just the more I appreciate it, the more special it is. Even I didn't think as a young kid, I loved that album, I love that band, but it's really cool to appreciate things like that on a completely different level. Once, I'm sure we've all been there where we watched a movie or a TV show and we knew that the joke or what was said, but we didn't get the joke until later,
right?
And that's kind of what it is, not in a joke, fashion, but rather the content of it. I'm like, as it, you get older and you start to learn more and understand these topics. That's a big one musically for me that I appreciate more and more as it goes. So what about you, Brian?
That's actually a good example, because it's like it's not like you didn't like it when it first came out. And I loved that album when it first came out as well, back in my time. Of course, I was just getting out of high school when that came out. Yeah. No, but it's something, like you say, you can go back and reflect on it. Just like that was around the height of the metal glam type years of the 80s, and things started to kind of fall apart after that. There were different sounds and different bands. Guns N' Roses started to make it big around that time, but Queensryche hit that was a pinnacle that they hit with that album back then. You go back and listen to and appreciate it. my stuff in music, I didn't get to that level with like albums necessarily, but I just have more of kind of genres a little bit. So when I was younger, I did not really like punk rock music. I just thought it was.
Okay.
I was more of a metalhead, and I liked some pop stuff. Like I still liked the Michael Jackson and different stuff that was more mainstream at the time. An MTV era stuff. I mean, I watched MTV constantly as a teenager. Madonna and Michael Jackson and all the that era. But I just thought it just didn't really hit with me. And as I've gotten
Are you
older,
talking about like the Ramones? Like
exactly.
Deal?
Yes,
yeah.
that type of stuff.
I have the same thing. Yeah,
I
didn't
Ramones,
get it either.
And as I've gone back and listened to more classic punk rock stuff, it's just I really enjoy it. It's a whole different vibe, whole different the sound. Like you say, the Ramones I've definitely appreciated more over the years, and I got turned on to a band like within a last couple years. The Cramps. The Cramps were actually they lived in Akron temporarily and stuff like that, but the lead singer has since passed on and everything. But that is like a B-movie surfer sound horror-ish type punk rock. I just love that type of stuff. So there's punk rock classic stations on Sirius XM you go back and listen to. And I've mentioned the Drew Carey show every Friday on Sirius XM, the Drew Carey Friday Night Freakout show, and he plays a lot of punk rock songs there. There's a lot of good exposure and deep cuts and stuff like that. So I just really love it. Matter of fact, I listen to that stuff more now than the 80s hair metal stuff. I don't really go back and listen to that as much these days as I do the classic punk rock and classic hip hop too. When I was a kid growing up, I liked some of that stuff. It was okay, Will Smith, DJ Jazzy Jeff, and it was fun. It was funny, that type of stuff. But as I go back and listen to some of the more classic type stuff like LL Cool J and that type of stuff. It's like that. It's a solid stuff. It's not too harsh. It's not too raunchy. None of that stuff. It's just cool, easy feeling, relaxing, summertime, fun, cruising, getting high, that type of stuff, partying.
Brian
I love
turns that on, and he reaches down and he pumps up his sneakers. The tongue with the air pump.
Sure, yeah. That's right. They probably still make that stuff. So that's just a couple
acid wash jeans on, and
that's right. Yeah, man. But that's just a couple of genres as a kid I didn't appreciate as much. I've definitely become to appreciate more, especially the punk rock stuff.
I got one more from music. And this guy, as a child, his voice scared me. The voice itself, no matter what it was, frightened me as a kid. But now it's obviously it's just fucking pure gold. Brian, do you have a guess? A voice
scared you as a kid, Casey Kasem?
No. It's a singer. The
Louis
voice.
Armstrong.
No, I always loved Louis Armstrong.
He's scared. Is a singer?
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Joey Ramone covered that song on his first solo album, by the way. That's a good one.
I heard that, yeah. No,
So,
Joe Cocker.
Oh, okay, sure.
Joe Cocker's voice when he did You Are So Beautiful, and that show was like, I don't know, it was scary as a kid.
Scary, frightened of his voice.
His voice was, it was scary. And now I
definitely was
fucking love
different.
it.
Yeah, definitely different. Whole different singing style, and he somehow made it work though.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now I love it.
Okay, that's a good one.
Do you guys have any like I mean, I think we've went through like music, unless you guys have any more music. Like for me, I'll hit up movie real quick because I watched a lot of movies that if I didn't like it then, there's a good chance that we can go reverse on that, and there's some that I enjoyed, and now you look back and go, that's not so great.
Yep.
But for me, movies wise, horror movies, I'm just now starting to appreciate them for what they are, because back in the day, I just thought they were stupid. They were, predictable and corny. Now, with having Carter, he's into horror movies, so I in turn had to get into horror movies, and so now I've watched them and sat down and actually watched them and appreciated them for what they are. So for me, for movies, horror movies in general.
I've always liked horror movies as well, and I mean, I grew up watching all kinds of. I mean, I for me, it's like the 80s slasher movies were just a lot of fun, I guess. Like the Freddy Krueger and the Michael Myers Returns and Jason, and we had a lot going on back in the 80s.
I want to show them the cheap ones, like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Oh Lord, that's
Chud.
tough.
Remember Chud?
Yes, I remember Chud.
Critters?
Yeah.
Critters, those are on HBO Max. Oh, the Critters
are they?
Yep.
Yeah. Those are awful.
I appreciate those in the sense of, in my opinion, there's not a lot of good modern horror movies. I still go back to the classics for me. Like, those slasher movies are not necessarily scary. It's just more of a form of it. As a matter of fact, they keep bringing them back because they are probably, that's why the Michael Myers Halloween movies are probably still so popular today. It's just because it's just a formula that works, that people like, and it's not, I don't know, some of this stuff I'm just like,
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Now that is a good movie.
That's a good one.
If you want a good B movie, I dressed up as a killer clown one Halloween, Dean, back in the 90s, but that's a lot of fun. I think they have a couple of those or something, but yeah, if you want a great B, So those old 80s classic ones and earlier, I'm with you. I definitely appreciate those more as I get older. So,
you guys have any movies?
I've got one that specifically, I think I've even mentioned this before, but it's one that I appreciate more and more every time I see it. There's for a multitude of reasons. It's The Nightmare Before Christmas. I saw it when I was a kid.
It's good.
I thought it was a cool movie and the characters were neat and I was little and whatever. But as I watch it, it was never one of my very favorites, but I certainly saw it as a child. But both my sons, Lane and Oliver, around the time when they were 2-3 years old, it was just this giant love affair with that movie. Both of them, at their respective ages, they were just. And as I'm watching it as an adult, I marvel at how original and well thought out the plot is. I am endlessly impressed on how it's made and all the little details and intricacies that, imagining what it took for every different motion, every little thing, or every little whip of the hair in the wind, or the skeleton hanging from the tree in the jury house or in the courthouse. Just little things I'm just very impressed on an artistic level from the people who physically made it. And then, like I said, just the plot itself, the storyline is clever.
And you can't forget about the music.
Fun. The music is incredible.
Danny Elfman's music in that is incredible.
Yeah. So, and that's always a good watch too. I think we may have talked about it here, but if you haven't seen Movies That Made Us on The Nightmare Before Christmas, that's a great watch. But that movie, just every time I watched it, I'm like, God, I'm impressed by this movie. Like, I'm so impressed by this movie. It's just really good.
See it. Like when we were in high school, there's all these kids that were like, that was, it was kind of that pop punk, goth thing where like they were so into it and they had that tattoo on their arm or the shirts. And I'm thinking to myself, why are you guys watching a children's movie? And then when I had Carter, he watched it and loved it. And, we watched it all the time. And the first time I saw it, I loved it. I'm like, this is incredible. Like, I'm kind of upset that I didn't give it a chance.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, very good. Yeah, for me, also just Westerns in general. As a kid, my dad always liked watching Westerns, John Wayne, and I just never really got into it. I think I started to get into it. I know one of our favorite movies, at least Dean, is Tombstone, and that was in the
absolutely
that really changed my perspective on Westerns in general. And then I went back and I've gone back and watched some of my dad's old box set John Wayne movies and just those classic. So give me a good Western these days, I love it.
Sure.
So there's been some good modern westerns put out there, certainly even recently. I love it. I love the whole era, the
Hateful
scenery. Hateful Eight's good. The one
Yeah.
with the Benedict Cumberbatch that just almost won the dog. I can't think of it, but that's a good one. There, go check that out.
Yeah.
And others. There's plenty of good current westerns out there that capture the era very well. And so yeah, that's definitely something I appreciate.
That's a good one. When you said it, I was like, maybe I should give those a shot. I don't think I've ever seen a Western. And then you said Tombstone. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I have. Of course I have. But yeah, I don't. That genre has never been the least bit, attractive to me. That I've never,
do you like Quentin Tarantino?
Kind of the way that you explained, Dean, when you explained horror movies, that they're kind of cheesy and they're predictable. They all follow a formula. But that's true with newer ones. I'm sure it's probably different. Tarantino, yeah, I mean, I've seen only a couple of his movies, but I mean, I like the ones.
Hateful Eight is the one his Western, or Django Unchained.
Django Unchained. That's one of
Jamie Foxx.
One of my favorite movies. Period is Django Unchained. Yep. Yeah, go check that out.
Okay,
Nick. If you're a Tarantino fan remotely, it's great Western, great Tarantino movie in general. Absolutely.
Leonardo DiCaprio's role in that it alone makes the movie
phenomenal. Yep. Okay. What about what else you got, Dean? Any other types, like you're talking about foods or drinks or anything like that? Perhaps I have
a few things. Like I was struggling for TV because I'm such a TV nerd that like I watched everything.
Yeah.
Actually, here, there's one right there. I actually I didn't grow up on the only sports I grew up like watching because my parents watched it was baseball.
Okay.
I knew of sports. I'm not saying that I didn't like it was all foreign to me, but it just wasn't around in the house. Sundays weren't for football, I was aware, and the game. My dad may have had it on the TV, but like there was no like cheering and rooting
fanfare
and stuff.
For it, right?
Yeah, my fanfare came later in life. So yeah, football. Hockey is another one that I thought that the more I watch it, and the more I appreciate it. It's like Nick has that love for it. I'm at the appreciation stage for hockey. Like I watch it, and I appreciate what I'm watching. I appreciate the athleticism and the everything about it. I appreciate hockey more now, and more I watch it, the more I'm starting to really enjoy it and love it. But yeah, I'm at the full fan appreciation of it now.
Nice, that's cool.
Yeah, I don't know that my perspective on sports has changed a lot, so I think I appreciate it differently these days. Like as when I was younger, I was like super fan Dallas Cowboys, super fan as a kid. It's super fan Boston Celtics as a teenager and stuff. Where if they lost a big game, it would ruin my day, ruin my week.
Yep,
I took it very personal. No, I'm serious.
No, I know. I'm there right now. Like at 34 years old, that's still my life.
Yeah, but over the years, it's just like it's just for me. It's these days. It's entertainment. I like it,
sure.
And even with Cleveland, it was great fun watching LeBron beat the Warriors in 2016. That was one of the best sports moments probably in my lifetime, to watch that series and how dramatic it was. And you would have hated to see Cleveland lose that. And I'm glad that they won, but it was entertaining. It was a lot of fun to experience it and watch that with a group of people and your friends, and you're getting out, and it's just different. I don't sit down and watch a whole game rarely these days in any sport, but when it's on, I like it. I do enjoy it. It's fun. Like I said, it doesn't ruin my day. I get upset sometimes if Dallas loses a playoff game, whatever. But it's just it's minutes versus hours and
away
days.
And it's gone.
Exactly. Yep.
When did that change for you? How old were you when it changed?
40.
When's it gonna happen?
Dude, No, man, I was definitely in my 30s, if not even my, it's just, it was one of those things that just sort of, it just happened.
Yeah.
It's just I'm like, why do I put myself through this? Watching these games, getting so upset. I'm like, I am not enjoying it. What am I doing? I got to get it in perspective, or I'm just going to.
The Browns, for me,
ruin my day.
I've gone. Over the past couple of years, it's kind of just faded as of like, okay, I'll watch the games, and I'll get upset while I'm watching it. I was like, God damn it, catch the ball. But it's done ruining my day. I turn off. Okay, moving on.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. Other things to do. Go ahead.
Do you guys have anything else that you've learned to appreciate?
I put down like just my palate a little bit, if you will. So for many years, beer
like
was
your
just kind of
your palate. Okay,
sure, yep.
I'll see that taste later.
No, but just for many years, it was like I didn't really care. Like, just give me a halfway decent beer. It was more of just drinking to drink and drinking to get drunk and playing drinking games and all these things for years and years and years and years and parties and all that stuff. And it's just, craft beer was like, who's spending? It doesn't make any sense to me. It's expensive. I don't get it. I don't like it. And that's definitely something that's changed over the years. Still like a decent domestic beer. I'm obviously drinking some tonight here. It's, with the regular, Labatt. It's good, solid beer. Nothing wrong with it. I like it. But I do appreciate different types of beer, craft beers these days, and whiskeys. I never thought in my time I would be buying whiskeys and making drinks and all that. I love to make old fashions. I love to make just whiskey and ginger ale and just highballs, simple stuff like that. Yeah. It's just a different vibe. And wines, for that matter. Wines I never drank years. And with all the local wineries popping up around here in Northeast Ohio, there's plenty of options and a lot of people making very great craft beer and wines all through this area that I enjoy it. I like to just mix it up and try different things and experience different flavors. And it's different. It's just different. The buzzes you get on and stuff are different. Just the whole thing, the whole experience is different. Any of those drinks that you have, if you're not going overboard,
See, for me, whiskeys and bourbons were in my 20s and 30s. Whiskeys and bourbons. A, there was no difference. I didn't know the difference. Didn't care. And B, it was to do shots to get drunker.
Right. I was to say that was the difference.
As quick as I can.
I never would have thought I enjoyed just drinking like whiskey, like with ice and like sipping on it. When you're younger, you're just like, get it down there. Like, let's get fucked up fast. And like, you just throw a shot back and chase it with something and let's get it over with. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
means to an end.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I had sushi on my list too, Dean. So sushi was something that never thought I would even want to try it. And all years and years and years. 40s.
When you tried it.
In my 40s.
Yeah, I was in my 20s, and because I was asking the question, to Megan and Carter today, and Carter said sushi, and I said, well, sushi I didn't have as a kid, so it didn't really qualify for something you learn to appreciate. It's something that I regret not having or trying as a kid.
Right.
Yep. Because I was like 25 or whatever before I tried sushi for the first time.
I think I tried it first when I was like 16, and it was love at first sight. Like, it was just the first time. I remember, you hear like sushi's like this. If you've never had sushi before, it's like this exotic thing, like sushi, like it's a weird food. And you had that kind of going in. And the first time I ate it, I was like, oh my God, like it was just like a fucking game changer. Like, and it's been my favorite thing to put in my mouth other than some unmentionables ever since.
That's right. There you go.
Sir, I'll be taking requests after the show. Please grab a number and get in line. But yeah, that, and like, it was the same with craft beer though, for me. Like, I should specify maybe the differences in types, but the first time I tried like a stout or a porter, I was like, I was like, oh my God, like this is so good. There was no adjustment period, but there are different styles, like, and different types of IPAs took me longer to get into. sours I just got into maybe like 2 summers ago, and seltzers like literally 3 weeks ago was the first time I had a seltzer I really liked, and it was at a craft brewery. It was in Magic City. I'd only ever had like the store bought seltzers before, and I'm like, they're dry and weird, and I don't like it. But I tell you what, craft seltzers, don't sleep on them. Pretty good.
Okay.
If somebody does them right. They're good.
Well, I was all into like just Natural Light and Bud Light and all that, and there was one night that I was busy throughout the evening, and I came down because I was thirsty and hot, and I needed something to drink, so I come down, and I was already half in the bag, so I opened the fridge and there's only one beer left. It was a Guinness. I never had Guinness before. I thought, well, it's a beer. I could just crack it open and just take it to the head. That is not the case. That came back up quickly as it went down. Because I was not prepared for that whole
It's like
taste.
chocolate milk beer. What happened?
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is dog shit. And then, like, I don't know, like a month later, I was with the guy who actually brought it to the house. He's like, "What? No, try it now. You know, when you're not in that whole situation." And I fucking loved it, and it's my go-to, my go-to love of stouts is Guinness. There,
Yeah.
Very good. One thing main thing has changed for me. Not main thing, but one thing has changed for me over the years is I'd still like to go out. Love to be out around among friends and go to things. Like I'm looking forward to, Dean, your craft beer party this Saturday to see you guys and everybody. It's going to be a lot of fun. I missed that last year with my cousin's wedding at the time, but so that'll be a lot of fun.
cousin over me. That's a bunch of bullshit.
But I appreciate at a whole other level being home. Just being home, enjoying the house, and working little projects to beautify things around here, especially in the nice weather like this. If I'm on my front porch or my back patio, those two areas are two of my favorite places on the earth, literally.
Brian, my favorite place on earth is watching you beautify your back door.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'll shave it for you this weekend.
Ooh. Might be a tasting of other things going on this weekend as well.
Garbage time means beer. We get all nasty here.
Nick, you're already there anyways. You're fine to be home. I mean, you fight.
I thought you meant his ass. I'm like, yeah, it's terrible. It's natural and it's beautiful.
Yeah. I'm at home much of the time because I have 2 small children, and there's the opportunities to do things are, I'm very, very grateful. I do have a very loving and understanding wife that lets me go and play hockey every week and go out with my buddies afterwards, and I go to concerts and stuff like that, and head out, hit the breweries occasionally and stuff like that. So, but it's hard, but I definitely don't mind that because I know that I am going to miss it when it's gone. Like when I have all the freedom and no one's going to need me to be home, I'm going to be pretty fucking bummed. So I definitely do take advantage of that when I can.
Absolutely. It will be an adjustment period for you when you get there, but yeah. Okay. Dean, and what about you? Anything else? Just anything else in general, guys? So I know it's getting kind of late, but anything else you want to call out and mention?
Yeah, that covers it. I mean, I got like, I never liked cats, and now Megan moved in and she got a cat, and he's pretty neat.
Sure.
I probably don't like other cats, but I like this one.
Pretty neat.
He's fine.
It's good.
You know what? I just changed my mind of what I want on my headstone when I'm gone. I just wanted to say he's pretty neat. He was pretty neat.
Yeah, I like that.
Here lies Nick Schaefer. He was pretty neat.
He's pretty neat.
Yeah. That's a good existence. If when you go, somebody says you're pretty neat. That's pretty neat. That's good.
I said that I'll make sure that happens. Like you're gonna fucking go first. Jesus.
You never know.
You get hit by a bus. That's the only thing. Or you don't get that rash taken care of. Anyways, what were you gonna say, Brian?
No, I was just saying it's a good topic here, Dean. I think we'd probably talk longer than we thought we might. So some good stuff. And I will say, my closing thought on this topic is, as growing up, I've definitely appreciated friends. it's something that you appreciate more or reflect on more, I think, as you get a little bit older.
Sure.
Right? Because it's like you're people that's kind of stuck with you for years, and you don't have as much time left as you get older. You reflect on things more, you find, as you get older. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not saying I appreciate you guys more as I've gotten older, but I definitely appreciate your guys' friendship and doing this show with you guys.
He appreciates me less after this episode.
No. Just want to mention that as well. So,
Yes,
like I said,
absolutely.
Likewise,
thanks
man.
to you guys, and
Absolutely.
I feel the same.
many more. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Anything else? Any other closing thoughts? Anything at all, guys?
I just fucking love you guys. That's just it.
Yeah, love you guys. Love you too.
Love you guys.
Yeah, love you too.
I mean, I'd French kiss both of you if I could at this moment.
Well, if you subscribe to our Patreon account, perhaps
You might see that.
you
We
might
will
see.
all be together this Saturday. There might be some videos you see on Patreon.
That's right. We already have
Give
the
us a
video
little money.
with us, with the three of us, plus Jason, shirtless playing volleyball like Top Gun. We talked about that last week. And who knows what will happen on Saturday? So you just got to subscribe and make a modest donation, and you never know what you might find.
I don't want to say, what could or could not happen on the Patreon if you subscribe or give us money. All I'm saying is I kind of enjoy when we all get together. Say, Brian, feel the back of my throat with your finger real quick.
Yeah.
And he does it. And they're like, Nick. And I last time it was kind of fucked up because I turned and said, hey, Nick. And he didn't use his finger and he just went on his own. It was.
Then I screamed at you in front of everybody not to break eye contact with me. It was just everybody felt uncomfortable. I apologize. I've already apologized for it. I just,
All right.
get carried away.
With those nipples. Anyways, Brian, what were you saying?
That's it. That's this lady.
All right.
That's it. Yep.
You said it all.
Yep. I don't have any suggestions, Dean, for any unique outros for young Nick here, sir.
I actually don't either.
That's fine. So
unless we give Nick his viewer's choice.
Yeah. Maybe
there's anything special you want to do? Yeah.
There's a character or thought that you appreciate more over the years.
What have we talked about this evening? I'm trying to think. We talked about a lot of shit. Shit, put me on the spot. I'm gonna do the outro in the voice of...
I wish Bobblehead Nick had a different...
Dean at last year's beer tasting party when I made everyone feel awkward.
I like it.
Oh, everybody, please feel free to head on over
I was going to say it.
to our convenient Linktree.
Your mouth is open way too wide.
T-E-R-E. I can't even spell. This is too inappropriate. So let's just simmer down.
There we go.
Feel free to go over to our Linktree. So Google Linktree, Convincing Idiots Linktree, Linkttree, and there you will find the links to all of our social media accounts in which we are available, as well as where to listen to the show. You can also go to our website, convincingidiots.wordpress.com. That's the one. What else could I possibly have had on my mind to mess that up? WordPress.com. Go there. You can find all those same links, as well as where to listen to us. You can learn a bit about your favorite bro hosts, one of the three of us. You can also learn ways you can help out the show. And stay tuned to there. Maybe if we get out there and do some things, we'll post some things on there. I think Brian's heading up the newsletter operation, so sign up for the newsletter, and we'll get that going
every hour.
I just like to give Brian extra tasks to do. It's just, I don't think there's enough on his plate with the editing and the
hourly update. What we're doing 7 days a week.
Brian is currently working on our Convincing Idiots app with push notifications and everything, so be sure to look out for that.
We don't normally do this, but I do want everybody to tell anybody who's left listening, tune in next week. We have a really good topic coming up next week.
Yes.
That's right. So as we think about it, you're going to be thrilled out there.
That's right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I say that, it doesn't fucking matter what it is. It's just it makes it seem like we know we get our shit together.
Actually, we do have an idea, and we'll see. How
Oh
it
yeah,
goes.
we do, don't we?
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right. So stay tuned to find out if the next episode, in fact, will be entertaining or not. So for this episode of Convincing Idiots, I'm a millennial. My name is Nick.
I'm Dean, the Xennial.
I'm Brian, Gen X.
Have we convinced you that we will grow to be something that you appreciate in time? Just wait. You will. Hi. This is Millennial Nick, along with Gen X Brian and Xennial Dean. Hey, if you liked that video, which we really hope you did, you should like and subscribe. That would be great.
Ham gravy.